Hi, I'm Zoe from breadin5.com. Today I'm making brioche dough. I'm going to mix it up in a stand mixer instead of a bucket, and this is something that you can do for any of our doughs. You can actually use a stand mixer or a food processor to do any of them. So let's get mixing. I have all of my ingredients already measured out, and it doesn't actually matter what order you put it in, but I like to do the water, and then the yeast and salt and the honey go right into the mixer. And then I just throw my eggs in. I think we even say in the book to mix them up a bit, but honestly, I never do. I just throw them in. In the book that we say to add the butter next, but I never melt it down in enough time to allow it to cool, so I actually put the flour right on top of all of the water, honey, yeast, salt, and eggs. Just dump it all right into the mixer. And then I pour the butter over the top of the flour, and that way I can use really hot butter and it won't affect the eggs or the yeast. And then we're going to just put that onto our mixer with the paddle attachment, not the dough hook. And then we'll turn this on, just slow it first so that the flour doesn't fly all over the place. And then once the flour is incorporated in there, you can turn it up a bit to really get a good mix. And then just maybe 30 seconds. So I probably want to just scrape down the sides of that bowl so that we make sure none of that flour is still stuck to the side. And then we'll give it another little twirl in there and we're done. Lift that back up. And I'm actually going to transfer it into this bucket for that rise. Because if I left it right in the mixer, it would definitely overflow. So I'm going to transfer it to my bucket. I'm going to let this sit for 2 hours, and then I have to let it chill, thoroughly chill it before I can use it. You can see by the lid that when the dough rose, it actually touched the top of the lid. So that's why you need such a big bucket. And once the dough has refrigerated, it's a lot stiffer, but I still need to dust the top of it with a bit of flour just so my hands won't stick to it. So I dust it with some flour, and then I'm going to use a pair of kitchen shears, and I'm just going to reach in there and cut off a piece. Sometimes actually it'll just break right off. And I'm going to fill these buttered brioche tins with my dough. So I'm going to cut off about 2 ounces or a plum-size piece of dough. And then I just dip this into my flour and make a nice smooth ball out of it. And all of those scraggly ends on the bottom will go to the bottom of my brioche mold. And then I'll just keep filling all of my molds. I could actually just cover that with plastic wrap and let them rest for about 40 minutes and bake them, and they'd make cute little buns. But I'm going to make a brioche à tête, and tête means head in French. And so they're just a little ball of the brioche dough with another tiny little ball on top, which makes the head. So I'm going to dip back into my bucket of dough, and I'm going to pull out about 1/4 of an ounce, a tiny, tiny little amount, and dip that again into my flour. And I'm going to create a tiny little teardrop shape out of that ball. And then what I'll do is I'll just poke a hole down into my ball of brioche dough in the tin and stick the bottom of that teardrop right into the hole. And that's it. And as they rest over the course of the 40 minutes, they'll grow together, and then we'll bake them. The brioche à tête sat for about 40 minutes, and I just peeled the plastic away carefully, and now I'm going to egg wash the tops of them. And the egg wash is just 1 egg mixed with about a tablespoon of water. And I want to put this on lightly. I don't want it dripping down the brioche molds with egg. I just want to lightly cover the top of them, and this will create a really nice shiny crust on the brioche, but it will also give the brioche a really nice color. So we'll egg wash this and then get it into a preheated 350 degree oven. And the size of these are so tiny that we'll probably only bake them about 20-25 minutes. So they're all set, and let's get them in the oven. 25 minutes later, we pull our brioche à tête out of the oven, and they're spectacular. They're really beautiful color, and they're shiny, and they're just the way they're supposed to be. And we want to let them sit for about a minute in the cups, but then we want to try to get them out as soon as possible so the bottom crust doesn't get soggy. And we'll just flip them out right onto the wire rack. In order to do that, I just lift them up because they're going to be piping hot. I just lift them up with a little spatula and just sort of tip them over and out of their cups. And if they don't come out right away, just let them sit for a second and they'll release right from the pan. But the bottom crust is lovely and the top is perfect, so just let them cool off and they're going to be absolutely delicious. For more information and the recipe for brioche, visit us at breadin5.com. Thanks.